Welcome to the Forank Marketing Podcast, where we discuss everything about marketing, SEO, and PPC. Enjoy.
Hi everyone, welcome to the Forank Marketing Podcast. I'm Zoe, I'm the SEO specialist and co-founder at Forank, and I'm here with Leigh, who is a PPC specialist and also the co-founder of Forank. And today we're discussing the future of marketing and AI, thinking about the role AI is playing in marketing and SEO, but also AI tools and how we can use them to support what we're doing. As we all know, AI is rapidly changing the market, so this should be an interesting discussion. But before we dive in, I'm just going to ask you, Leigh, what's going on in work and life? What's been happening for you?
Yeah, work's going really well at the moment. I've actually recently gone full circle and back to the company that I met you at, Zoe, which is awesome. So I've gone in and we're just helping out with some new positioning, just generally just helping out with some sort of strategies and things for them, but mainly for their own marketing, which is really nice. And I feel very honoured to have that opportunity. But you remember it very vividly working there and how much fun we had, and it feels kind of like the same, to be honest.
Nice. Yeah, I've posted a few times about the time we had in that agency, and I do genuinely say it was some of the best years of my life. We met there. We've met two other mutual best friends now. So yeah, that's lovely that you've been able to get back involved in a team again, and it's a wonderful team there as well.
Yeah, it's kind of funny actually sitting there because I think I'm sitting at your old desk now, or what used to be. Yeah, things have changed. It's the agency has expanded massively since we were there, but it's interesting to see the progression because I suppose what was it like 7 or 8 years ago we worked there, and it's actually kind of funny, and I think it kind of ties into this topic as well, just like how much has changed since we were there as well.
Yeah, I can see that.
Like just marketing in general has changed massively. Yeah, apart from that, I decided to sign up for a half marathon
Nice.
on a whim. So training for that, which it's going well. I'm enjoying it. How about yourself?
Watching your Strava, and I'm thinking you're doing very well, and your pace is good as well.
Yeah, Strava's like a new addiction. It's like Facebook. It's like just another social media platform now.
Have you subscribed to Strava Plus or whatever it's called?
Yeah,
Have you? Have you paid for it?
I have. Yeah,
It's quite good, isn't it?
I don't know what additional stuff you get on there.
Do you get a little fitness score, which I do quite like it, but I've not justified paying for it. And you do get a map as well, so you get a heat map of what, and I do like that, especially because we suffered around the world, so we would have a really good line around the world. But it's I mean I think it's very affordable. It's 50 quid a year, isn't it? Which is not that bad. But I've not done it myself. I have been following you on there.
I don't know. It's a funny one running because people are like, oh, it's such a free way to go and exercise. And then when you actually take into consideration the things like the Strava app, you've got your fitness watch, you've got your trainers, it actually becomes a really expensive sport. So
Yeah. If you add on all the bolts and whistles, I suppose it does.
yeah, absolutely. But yeah, how's pickleball going for you?
Oh, pickleball. Yeah, I've been doing pickleball since August. So it's August 24, and I just love it. I did my first tournament the other day. Did I tell you that?
No, you didn't.
It was properly competitive pickleball. Yeah, I did a competitive day, and I put it on my New Year's resolutions this year to do something competitive in pickleball, and I've done that, and it was great fun. And I'm going to do another one in June. I came 12th, but I was I don't know, I don't really get it. I came to 12th out of 16, I think, so it's quite low of my division. But I don't know. I was just happy to be there, happy to compete, and I just really want to get better. Yeah, I really like it. I think I've done 14 hours of pickleball this week. I'm addicted.
How many?
14 hours, mate. Yeah. I mean, a lot of that was on the weekends, 7 or 8 hours on the weekends.
So the tournament, how many is that out of?
So it's you get a division. So there was 16 teams, I think, and I came 12th in my division. And then there's other people who are better than me in other divisions, hundreds of people probably. But yeah, but because they split the division into two, the upper players and the lower players, and I was in the lower. I was actually one place off a podium for the lower division.
Well done, you. That's so cool. Can you spectate it? Is it a big thing? Is it getting to that point?
Yeah, you can. I think. Yeah, you could just pop over one time if you like, have a look. Or we should go and book a pickleball court and I'll show you how to play it. I love it so much.
Well, I was watching them the other day because they play at the same time where Ewan goes to basketball, and the rackets.
Wait, not at the Wrekin?
No, not at the
No,
Wrekin.
not Wrekin College.
No, just
Oh,
like
so I was like, I would have been there.
no. I would have definitely just had a look for you. But I love badminton, so I feel like it's a mixture of that and tennis, right?
Yeah, people do describe it like that. I mean, I've not played racket sports since school, so I don't really know how to play badminton, to be honest, or tennis. Not really. I know obviously a little bit, but yeah, they do say it's like a combo of like tennis, ping pong, and badminton. It's played on a badminton court. Come and have an intro session. I'll do it with you.
Will do, yeah.
We can book a court and play it. I've got a spare paddle now.
Oh yeah, let's do that. Absolutely, I'm game. Right then, all we're on a bit of a health kick. I think the sun has definitely pushed me into this.
Big time for me as well. I went out to the shop this morning. It was blue. The birds were singing. It's March, and there was a bit of like we've made it through another winter in the UK. Oh, so nice.
People don't understand how depressing the UK is. I told you, didn't I, was severely vitamin D deficient. I've just had a blood test this week just to see if that's now upped it. But like, even the doctor was like, 100% of everyone in the UK is vitamin D deficient over the winter.
That's mad, isn't it? It is bleak. It's a long time, the British winter, but we just have to enjoy the spring and summer now. We've got it.
It's here. Okay, let's get into this then. So, back to AI and the future of marketing. Zoe, did you know that 80% of marketers believe AI will significantly impact search marketing in the next 5 years?
Didn't know 80%, but I have to say, not surprised. I think it's even perhaps I'm surprised it's 80 actually, and not more like, well into the 90s. Yeah, it makes complete sense to me because we're already seeing the impact now in real time.
Absolutely. It's a conversation I'm having left, right, and centre with clients, from the most experienced people who have worked in marketing to those who just sort of own businesses and are a little bit more amateur when it comes to marketing. Everyone is talking about it and they're all asking the right questions. How is this affecting us? And then, what's the funny one? They always ask what the traffic is coming from like these AI platforms, the likes of ChatGPT, is it Perplexity?
Yeah.
But yeah, they're all asking, how do we see or how do we monitor this and how do we improve rankings, if you like, on ChatGPT and similar? So it is an interesting one.
Definitely, definitely. I mean, the good news, I suppose, is that if your SEO is good, then technically your visibility in the like AI search or the LLMs is also going to be good because SEO is really the driving force behind it. So to me, it's like I'm not really worried about it, to be honest, because I just can see that what I'm doing now is impacting visibility in these AI search softwares, I guess. And yet you can track it as well. You can see that. You can track all your. Or we spoke to, was it Carl? It was the last, not the second episode we did with Carl Rushton, and he shared his really brilliant Looker Studio dashboard where you can really track traffic coming from AI. So yeah, and it's to me at the moment it's very much a byproduct of good SEO, which is great.
It kind of feels like that. I told you should have done SEO 2 years ago.
Yeah, exactly.
Because like I'm having those conversations now. I've got a client and we are literally, we're kind of trying to fast track SEO to some extent. And I know I'm not an SEO person, but I guess your experience in this, past experience, we're trying to create a workflow for them, because I feel like at the moment now, with the way ads are and where they're being placed on the SERPs, they're lower than now the Gemini AI section. So what's happening is that our ads, and we're seeing this, I wouldn't say a nosedive, but we're definitely seeing less traffic coming in from ads, which is so mad. Like, and that shift is so apparent.
That really is interesting to me because like we've kind of had this period where ads could always beat SEO to the top of the pages. But now it's like the tables are turned a little bit because SEO can now can clinch the AI overviews. And that's fairly easy done. Like to me, that's not much different than like a feature snippet type rank, and it's nothing to be scared of. But it is interesting because yeah, ads kind of had that upper hand for a while. Although using both is still really important. Obviously, we definitely want to see people continuing with their marketing on all channels. I don't think anything is dying, although we hear about that a lot on LinkedIn now. It's not dying at all. It's just shifting a little bit and changing, I think.
Yeah, and I think that's just the way the world of the marketing. It's not necessarily that things die. Things just naturally have a slower progression than other things, and we just have to shift. And that is marketers' role, really, is to shift with
Yeah.
those times. I just had a question to ask you about. You said about featured snippets. Is there any way, if we treat the Gemini part or similar as a featured snippet, is there a way that you can see that yet on tracking tools, whether or not you've had a click through? There isn't.
No, you can. Sorry, I shook my head, but you can. SEMrush have got it. Like SEMrush, Ahrefs, they've got it'll tell you when you've had some like visibility in the AI overview. I'm pretty sure it is. So yeah, that's available.
Oh, nice. That's a really interesting. I wasn't even aware of that, which is great. And now you can start to see the impact of your SEO efforts then in that aspect.
Definitely. So you've got the. I don't use Ahrefs, but I'm quite sure they will have it if SEMrush do. So it's a SERP feature in SEMrush. And then obviously, like what I said earlier, is you've got like Kyle's Looker Studio dashboard where you can track traffic. And I'm actually writing an article on the future of SEO soon, and someone has given me some data about the conversion rates on AI. So he's tracking all the conversion rates in
Nice.
G4. And it's actually really interesting because he's finding the conversion rates are much higher from AI search, but it is worth noting the quantities are a lot lower. So got to bear that in mind.
That's so interesting though, and I feel like this is the shift we're seeing in like so ChatGPT now has like you can change your Chrome for your ChatGPT to become your search engine. But even I find myself doing this is I can't be bothered now, which just sounds awful. It's to like when I'm researching something, I can't be bothered to go onto a search engine, search it, and then trawl through and look for that content. So I find myself now using ChatGPT to just like quickly give me that information.
Yeah.
And it just like I'd love to know what the comparison is from like Google in terms of being a search engine and what now is the percentage change into like the likes of ChatGPT and probably find that out.
Yeah, I don't know that off the top of my head. I think the thing to remember, because that almost sounds quite scary, I think, to some people, perhaps, that we're going to shift and it's going to be all in ChatGPT. But we've got to remember that ChatGPT is getting a lot of its information from content that we publish. We still need to be feeding the AI something, otherwise it's not going to be available. I personally don't think it's particularly sophisticated at the moment. So if you've got pages on your website that says your product is good for X, Y, and Z, there's every chance if you've got kind of some authority behind your site that it's going to appear in ChatGPT. And I think like it's almost like a content aggregator, isn't it? Because like what you just said there is you can't be bothered to trawl through Google. And I feel the same way as well. I can't, like a lot of the time when you're looking for something, you kind of know you're getting faced with like some bias. If you know marketing, like you know that the roundup on home and garden or something is potentially the people have paid for the positions in that listicle. Well, I don't think everyone knows that, but we know that as marketers. So you can kind of just like cut through that, get the initial like the lowdown, if you like, from ChatGPT, which is exactly how I use it. And then I might then go and do a bit more research. And I actually used it the other day. I was comparing the Dyson Airwrap versus the Shark Flex style. And I was using ChatGPT to do that. And it was interesting to me because it says, the Shark is better apparently for like curlier hair, like wavy hair. And I'm like, I don't know whether that's actually like the truth. Because I think, to be honest, like Dyson's going to be a really good product. But somewhere, somehow, that reputation is out there. And all ChatGPT can do is take what it's fed, isn't it? So it's still not fact, is it?
No.
But that's what you can do on your own website. You can differentiate yourself with these kind of niche or like long tail keywords, if you like this product is best for Y, and get in there. And I don't think it's any more sophisticated than that at the moment. Maybe I am underestimating it, but
No, but that's such an interesting point when you talked about fact, is because Google has always like there's so many things in place I feel with Google that like to make sure you are a legitimate website, you are a legitimate person, there are all these things that we, and that go into ranking factors of why things get ranked, because you have to stick into guidelines of Google, right? Does that then lead to the likes of ChatGPT? We have to be a bit mindful that it is just scraping the internet and regurgitating information. So we have to be very mindful that there is no regulators around it, if you like. So that information that you've just even mentioned there, it's found that from somewhere and kind of ran with it. So we have to be very mindful that it's not factual.
No, absolutely. I completely agree. And I don't think everyone would know that. I think marketeers would know that. I don't know whether everyone would know that. And, a lot more people are using it. Actually, like, even my dad, I couldn't believe my dad is even using ChatGPT now. My dad's like a bricklayer. I couldn't believe it when he said he was using ChatGPT for stuff. But but one thing I will say is I do think, though, I do think a lot of it at the minute is like mimicking what Google has provided it. It's just kind of like fishing out of that algorithm, if you like. So if you are ranking in number one, you'll probably be cited in the AI overviews. If you're in the map view, you'll probably be cited locally. Then like you mentioned did you mention backlinks? You said there are like things on Google, there's like algorithms and to like verify websites are good and stuff. And I think it's going to be kind of the same. But someone else posted this on LinkedIn. It was let me just check if I'm going to say his name right. So Ferry Casoni made a video about this, saying that this kind of like SEO for AI, if you like, is basically going to be what SEO was for Google like 10 years ago, getting links, getting mentions. And I think there might be some truth in that, to be honest. But of course, we still need to like tread carefully as SEOs, because you don't want to put all of your focus to do some kind of janky SEO for the purpose of AI for two reasons. Because one reason being you could harm your Google rankings, and you don't want to be doing that, because although there's a lot of noise about AI and it is really popular, I think last time I checked, the amount of search that happens on like ChatGPT, Perplexity, all these different AI search engines, for want of a better word, is only about 4% of what happens on Google. So we still need to focus on the 96% of searches which is happening on Google, but obviously be aware. You don't want to shift too heavily into the A stuff, but you do need to start doing things. But I think like anything, like SEO has been like this for years. You just want to continue to do good SEO, good work for your users, and not be too influenced by the tools, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a really good takeaway as well. Like, we still have to write factual, good, honest content for the 96% here. And that's not changing. The only thing that is changing is how we potentially receive information. I think that's really important. Cool. I think we've touched on this, but like we've written down a question here for you, Zoe. So how will AI-driven search impact traditional SEO tactics like keyword optimization and link building?
So I feel like in marketing we have these like trends, don't we? And I feel like link building has like been through the mill a little bit. So links were really important to the point where it was spammy, and then we had like big updates which just like killed like websites like Panda and Penguin. Like websites were lost overnight because of these like spammy tactics and like not helpful content and building links for all the wrong reasons. And then we got into this like more like white hat PR type link building, which has always been really great, and that would always be good. I kind of feel like there's a chance of like link building will have its day again. I think it's more like the narrative around it. I think that's something to be really mindful of when it comes to this AI as well. Like SEO just seems really like rife with people getting really excited, like what they call it, like shiny object syndrome, don't they? And all these things like go in circles. So keywords is the new thing, or backlinks is the new thing, AI is the new thing, and then we just kind of do it until it collapses on itself. And that is what could happen with AI, because if you keep using AI and you're writing content with AI and then you're not editing it, and then the AI is regurgitating AI essentially, it's just going to get rubbish, isn't it? And I was speaking to someone recently actually who they were trying to improve their article in Google, and the AI was citing their article back at them. So there was no new information in the AI because the thought leaders, hadn't given the AI that information yet. So, there's a glass ceiling with AI. So we need to keep creating for that reason. Yeah, I think traditional SEO tactics, I do think like we're seeing a shift. I think this has been happening for a couple of years really, where the onus on keywords is becoming less important, talking more about like topics. And now, of course, with like AI, but this is not much different to featured snippets really. You want to be using like natural language. People are searching, they're writing more naturally about things, because they're chatting to an AI rather than writing in like a short keyword phrase. But I think that's all fine, really. I think all in a day's work for SEOs, it should be.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem, I think just from my understanding of the SEO, then it doesn't seem like there's a huge shift in, like, it doesn't seem like there's a huge shift in what you're already doing, potentially. And I think it's such a topic. And I think like people do get a little bit scared when we talk about AI and that whole sort of dimension. But in reality, when you actually bring it down to what's changed, nothing has at the moment.
Not really. Like we've just got to keep like learning, haven't we? And yeah, and like don't try and game the algorithms too much. Just do what's right by your users, and it does generally it generally works out over time. I mean, we are seeing like some things like is an interesting LinkedIn post recently that I read from Chris Long. This was sent to me by a client actually. He's a VP of marketing at Go Fish Digital, and he was finding that the AI was citing content that's like written in bullet points. But when you think about it, I mean, I do think that's a really interesting insight. Absolutely. But at the same time, it's kind of not that surprising because like bullet points are easy to read. Bullet points is where you kind of get your point across. That's really no different to back when we had the featured snippet. It would often just cite H2s. I don't know if you can remember that. You would have like the H2s listed.
Yeah.
Yeah, make your content digestible, make it easy to read, but we should be doing that anyway, really. So yeah, just keep doing what we're doing, and I'd say don't get too enamored by the tools and not too enamored by the shiny object syndrome, and then we should be all right. What about like pay per click? What's the impact there?
So again, very much in its infancy, and I feel like Google. I'm going to speak about Google Ads as a software at the moment versus others, but Google Ads has always kind of tried to push people into this very easy way of setting up ads. So before they used to have, instead of when you used to be able to set up an account, you had two options. You could have the easy route or you could have the experienced route. And it would always automatically push you into this easy route. And forgive me, I forgot the name of it. I think it was like Google Ads Express or something like that.
Yes, it was.
Do you remember? I don't know if Express is the right word. And this was probably maybe 7 years ago or something. And what you would do is you essentially give it one keyword. It was back before we had responsive search ads. And then you would go, here's 3 ads. And it would be like, yeah, great. I'll do everything for you now. And you had really no control. You had really limited features. So I don't even think you could do negative keywords at that point. And Google, as I said, was trying to push people into this. And there's kind of that thing of Google is a business and it needs to make money. So that there was that. And what I feel like they're kind of doing now is that's no longer exists. But with the AI now is when you go to create an ad, it gives you like a quick setup. And what that will do is it will you again put in a few sentences about what you want your ad to do or what you want it to say in the business, and it will create that for you. It will pick out the keywords, it will pick out the headlines and descriptions. It will even do AI generated imagery for image assets, which sounds great, but actually if you use it, and anyone who's a little bit more experienced will know, it just again regurgitates, it just scrapes your website essentially. So whilst that might be fine to some extent, Google as is not a person, the AI is not a person. So then it ends up putting stuff together that doesn't actually make sense for the user to read. So then therefore, why would they click through your ad? It doesn't make sense. And it still is very much in its infancy. And don't get me wrong, actually, sometimes I've potentially seen an AI description that's actually worded a little bit better than mine, and I will use that. And I think that aspect is fine. But if you allow Google to start just creating your ads for you, that's when you're just going to waste money for one. And it's not giving you anything new either. So it's not being creative with what it's trying to say. It's just literally stripping what's already there. So there is that. What else was there? Oh, there was a funny one that I saw the other day, which I thought Google was already doing this, but you have to stick it within like policies with your ads. So you can't write about drugs or whatever, or buying knives. Like there are policies and there are things, and you will get disapproved if you don't comply with them. So sometimes you get disapproved automatically. I think I had a client and they were a catering company, and I think one of the ads mentioned cocktails. And it wasn't about to purchase cocktails or anything like that. It was kind of just like given into the experience of the client's services. And it got disapproved straight away, which leads me to believe there is something out there that is like text recognition. So it will pick up certain words and say, no, they're banned. And then you have to go through the process of actually having a human review it and actually say if that's okay. And you find that a lot with also like trademark as well. If people have trademarked their brand and you put it in there, you will get flagged up and you will get disapproved straight away.
Nice.
So anyway, they've already got this right. And then they released a statement the other day to say, we are now using AI to do all of our approval processes. And I was kind of like, but you're already kind of doing that to some extent. And I was
Yeah,
like, what's the news here?
I
I didn't
know.
quite understand it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I feel like it's just sometimes it's the buzzword, isn't it? That's just being applied to like software when it's like the functionalities existed, but now we're going to call it AI, I think. Like it used to be like machine learning or something like that, and now it's just yeah,
What was it like chatbots? Chatbots have existed for however long.
yeah,
It's all it is natural language processing, I believe, NLP, if I'm correct. And there's a few variations, but again, all it is doing, it's not. I actually don't think AI is the right word. It's not artificial intelligence. It's literally not.
it's like a yeah, yeah.
It's
There's a couple of people on LinkedIn who write so much better about this kind of thing, but yeah, it's like a prediction model, isn't it? So it just predicts words that should come after each other, I think. And I mean, it's so clever, but it's like it's also so flawed. And I think what you were saying earlier about, a person who's good at their job would not be happy with the output, and that's where you've got to be quite careful with AI because I think everything it produces initially, you can look at it and I can look, God, that's really good. And it is good, like it's a good first draft, and it's mad clever where we've got to. But when you start to like pick it apart sometimes, like, oh, actually, like that's not the right word, or that's very simplistic in nature, or I would have said it differently and better. And you're mad. I think you're quite foolish actually if you really think AI has come on to such a degree that it can manage your ads campaign. Like it's just, I find it infuriating really that can be a thought.
Yeah, it's absolutely scary. I'm meant to have a similar thing now. Again, they're trying to push you into this automated settings and things. And as a marketer, it's really annoying because every time I set up a campaign, I have to turn off all these things. And it's infuriating because they're already set. For one of them, for instance, like video enhancements or AI video, and it will take your image. You could say, oh, put this background on it or whatever, and it'll just do it. And it's like, and then it just regurgitates an absolute gash image that doesn't represent your brand. And you're like, what has happened? Or it puts some random music onto it, or and this is the issue, if you're not careful and you allow it to just do all these things, it is just putting out pure shit, and people will get fed up of it, and you will lose that credibility of your brand instantly.
Yeah, I agree. It's something to be used with caution, isn't it? And like with an expert, isn't it? Like you still need like an expert to look over it and just to check it. I think as well, which is also a problem. So I think depending on like the tools you're using, it can be quite frustrating for people. Like let's just use the example of like writers. So like you can get some like draft content from AI, but no good writer is going to be happy with something that ChatGPT has produced because it's just subpar. And if you don't really appreciate writing, it might look good enough to you, but it's not. It rarely is good enough as it is. So what happens sometimes is that people like managers or bosses, whatever, they say, well, you can use AI, it's faster. But then the writer, for example, is then left just fixing AI content, which is it's not the job they signed up for, and it's quite demoralizing. So you're saying like you're actually having to waste your very good human time managing this AI that's kind of taking liberties on your account. Like it can be frustrating there, can't it? Like it is good. It's great as a tool. It really is. But
Oh, have you used SEO Surfer?
yeah,
Okay, so the client, we went through it the other day on a call. So essentially, we've written the article, we've put it into SEO Server, and what the premise of it is it will get the top 3 SERPs and kind of like by like, it will say what you need to improve based off the articles that are already ranking. Now, this is a really good example of why you shouldn't let AI just go ham, because they had an article and it said we already had something like, and it was a long form content piece, and we already had something like, I think it was like 80 paragraphs, and that sounds a lot, but what you'll understand, the content piece was like the 20 best X, Y, and Z, right? So it had a lot of headers and or paragraphs or whatever. And then it sort of like looked at our article and then looked at one of the SERPs. Now, one of the SERPs articles that were featured was a forum,
Oh, okay, yeah,
right?
exactly.
So then it said you need to add more headers and paragraphs because this one that searched has now got 1,000 and you've only got 80.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's where you have to be like, actually go, well, no, what are we comparing to? And it was like, and other stuff as well. It was like, you need to add this word in 20 more times. I was like, but that word isn't relevant for your business. So it's stuff like that. Again, it
Yeah,
needs a human person.
yeah, absolutely does. Absolutely. This is so important.
Excellent. So,
Did we go for your question enough?
yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things going on with AI. One of them as well with Google, I've touched base off like how it creates an ad and how it can set up your campaign. Another thing which isn't really a big surprise is manual bidding strategies are going, but has that been a shift from AI? I don't believe so. This was always going to change. Google have been playing around with automated bid strategies for, I think, 5, 6, 7 years. So there is that. We just have lost that capability of now manually bidding.
How do you feel about that? That feels like it makes sense to me actually, but I'm interested to hear what you think.
So manual bidding, what I mean by that is that you would literally set your cost per click. And there's a few ways you can do it. You could literally say, I don't want to spend more than £1 on a click. Alternatively, you can have what's called enhanced cost per click. So if Google thinks that you might get actually a click and they want to spend a little bit more, you give that flexibility there. I mean, manual cost per click has already kind of been dying out. They always push people onto this enhanced cost per click. And to be honest, I'm not mad about it because we have, as marketers, have been using the automated bid strategies for a long while now. Am I annoyed that we don't have that option to use manual? Yes, because sometimes I know I don't want to spend more than this on this particular keyword, for instance. But we're so used to using maximize clicks or target return on ad spend now that you can still have parameters on what spend you spend in a day, and where Google wants to do that is up to the bid strategy you choose. So no, I don't, not mad about that, and I think a lot of marketers will probably agree.
Yeah, cool. So we can shift gears a little bit here and talk about AI as a tool. So we've talked a lot about where we're seeing it and how we're using it. Do we think overall AI is going to make marketing better, or is it going to make marketing worse? What do you think?
Oh, I don't know, to be honest. I think if we are we talking about are we talking about like AI search? Like I feel like AI has a place, and I feel like actually we've already been using tools in the past to help us in life, right?
Mm,
For instance, writing essays, we've used Google to find and cite articles. We've always used a tool. I think AI is just a bit more of an advanced tool, essentially. I don't think it's going to hinder. I just think it just means we have to just switch gears a little bit, to be honest. There is always going to be a place for marketers, and whether or not even marketing changes, from being a marketer to a prompter potentially. I don't know what that looks like, but
not for me.
we've already seen this shift when we've moved on to digital. Traditional marketing has changed, and we've had to shift and move with the times. And I just think it's just another thing that we're just going to have to learn to live with and just adapt as we go.
Yeah, it's like anything in marketing, isn't it? Like, I think SEO, maybe you get this less like pay per click and stuff, but with SEO, it's like there are always ways to game the algorithm, and like it kind of depends like who's wielding the tool, whether it's going to help or hinder us. Because like what we said earlier, if you go and search for like best vacuum cleaner. We know we can't trust that. I can't trust those SERPs because I just know someone's probably paid for it. Who knows if I can trust a person reviewing something? That's why things like Reddit are becoming more popular. And to some degree, like I can lean in and agree that SEO has ruined the internet because I very rarely trust what I read on Google now. And I do go and I get a lot of information from Reddit and all like Facebook groups now, or just like obviously asking people for referrals and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like the internet is also amazing, and I get loads of information from Google all the time as well. It just depends who's wielding the tool. Have they used it conscientiously? Have they used it to be helpful, or have they just tried to get a page rank? And I'm guilty of doing that as well. Like I'm not to say that I've got one really shady page on our website that's ranking on page 1, and I really need to go back and edit it because I was playing around and I was trying to game the algorithm to see if I could do it, and I did do it. But now I need to go, I need to go make it helpful. So I do actually care that that's out there in the world. I just need to go and find the time to sort it out. So like, yeah, it depends who's using it. I think the downside of it really is the people who are, maybe they're on LinkedIn and they're sharing these like ridiculous case studies that are going to crash and burn in like, if not tomorrow, in 3 or 6 months time. And, people are believing it and then wanting to emulate it on their own website, but it's actually not going to happen. It's like, it's kind of a lie. That for me is where the real problem lies, I think. And that's hard when you just want to do a good job. And
You know what though, Zoe? That's not AI's fault. That is people's fault.
yeah, exactly. It's the people wielding the tool. Exactly.
And I think as far as search goes, paid media and advertising and things, let's be honest, paid advertising, and I'm going to speak of Google, well, I'll speak for most platforms. Advertising is normally their biggest revenue income or revenue stream. That's not going away. I think what would be interesting to see is because of the new Gemini thing showing up a little bit more. I wonder if, and the likes of ChatGPT and all of these will start advertising within those platforms as well.
Surely it will.
There's probably going to be a place where Gemini will crawl ads and start maybe creating ads based off what's already there, potentially. I don't know, but I'm not worried. My job is safe because they need to make money.
Yeah, totally.
And they need to have people want to spend. If everything just became auto-generated, they don't need people to spend because they're just doing it anyway. So
yeah, and I mean shopping ads, that kind of thing, is not going to go anywhere. Like if you have like an e-commerce app, it's like hammered with ads, in my opinion, because it's just such a big part of it. So the bottom funnel search.
I think we've always emphasized this is like AI is fine, use it as a tool, don't rely on it as your source of truth, and just be an honest marketer of what you're doing.
Yeah, totally agree. Oh, I was going to ask you a question actually on AI and pay-per-click. So I had one question which you just answered about the like ad placements. And would we see it in these kind of AI like search tools, if you like? The question was, I remember you had a campaign that was like managed fully by ads, didn't you? You looked at no, sorry, it wasn't your campaign. You got access to someone's ads, and their campaign was fully managed by AI. And you can probably what was that like? Like, what was the quality of the management? Where did it fail? Where was it good, if at all?
Okay, so essentially what this tool was, it would scrape the client's e-commerce website and based off trends that we've seen externally, Google trends, it would then put like higher bids or would pause products or enable them or put higher bids on products that were relevant and trending.
Oh yes, that's right.
That all sounds great, but this particular client, they actually are, I don't want to give them away too much. So essentially what they do is they sell products for like gas engineers and things like that. So if you think of that kind of tradesman world. In COVID, which many people did, people shifted to potentially items that they could generate income. So this particular company started selling barbecues in COVID, which is fine. They made a ton of it because people weren't, and the engineering industry and things, people weren't going to houses and getting their boiler service and whatnot. So they found another revenue stream, which is fine. But anyway, this AI tool, and because they've still got stock of it, this AI tool in the summer just then hammered barbecues.
Because the data it's got is a barbecue sell really well in summer and money was made, which is excellent, but not if you're not interested in selling barbecues.
Correct. So then they were like, uh, that's not like our core product anymore. Why are we selling barbecues? And also, you have to understand they're probably they're very low value items in comparison to what else they were selling. So, but this AI tool didn't do anything wrong. It did exactly what it said it was going to do. I'm going to find the trends, what's trending, and I'm going to match this to your products based off your previous data, and that's what it did. But so on the surface, right, their campaigns looked great because you know what, they're selling products, they've got return on ad spend and all of this. But the fundamental issue being that was not their core products. And what the danger of this is, they had lots of irrelevant traffic to their website. They might have sold one barbecue, but that traffic has then been diluted from everything. Email marketing lists, any retargeting, because that is not their core product. So could you imagine? I bought a barbecue from a website and now I'm getting retargeted with like products about for gas engineering. Like, and it diluted, like, it dilutes everything. So yeah, whilst on the surface, but it caused an issue, and I think, and the issue being is because there was this tool running, the client had no control over what was happening. You couldn't see the products, you couldn't see anything, you couldn't see the ads or nothing in the account. It was just kind of it was just like a AI campaign that was just put into there. It's an AI shopping campaign. Um, but that, yeah, that is the danger. And I think, yes, that model can work very well if you've got, I don't know, you sell trainers and that's all you sell.
Or if you've got the data, like I guess the crux of it is AI absolutely needs data, loads of it, and good, accurate data. Because you get out of it what you put in. So if you put crap in, it's going to give you crap out. It's as simple as that. And I think this is one thing that's really being overlooked in the content side of it is people want to create these like content tools, which it's going to crawl like our website and pull all the content off it. But if all your content is generated with AI and then you feed AI, it's just gonna like keep producing crap.
You're going to get the death wheel.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good way to think about it, actually. It's just a cycle of like regurgitating rubbish. You absolutely have to input the good stuff.
Yeah, I think that is like a warning actually to marketers, like,
100%. Absolutely is.
because in 5 years' time or a year's time or whatever this looks like, how fast this goes, like, if we put out shit, we're just going to get like brain rot almost.
Well, I think this is going to be the cycle. Like we see it all the time. Like take backlinks, do loads of backlinking. Oh no, we've been punished. Do PR, and then that so it's gone kind of like full circle, isn't it? So it was like we just kind of like made it cleaner and tidier. We had a tool, we ruined it, then we turned to doing it properly, and that's what's happening with AI. So it's like write content, write good content. Oh, now there's this like trash way to do it. Do loads of that, and eventually it will just choke on the rubbish it's been fed in, and we're going to go full circle, and it will be saying we need experts. Oh, the content's rubbish. We need to feed it in the data. So however way you look at it, it's all going to come back round to people in the end.
Google's next algorithm update is going to be like, you've produced too much content this year. We think this is AI, and they'll penalize you.
Well, it's certainly going to weigh in, isn't it? Like if you're producing like 1,000 pieces of content in a month compared to like the average company doing like 12 or whatever, you are going to look suspicious. And there's nothing wrong with the AI content. If it's good, fine. But it's usually not good out the box. I'm working with someone now to develop a writing tool, and it's hard work. The amount of rules that you need to put in there is we should get him on the podcast actually to talk about this. He's really interesting. You have to be very like literal with AI. So for example, we wrote some content with this tool and it gave me like bullet points, like no not an article. It gave me just a bullet pointed article. So in order to stop that, the solution was to say to it like don't write any bullet points. Because if you give it like okay, you can write some, but it can't reason. Although they like to think it, they do say reasoning on chapter day, it can't reason at all. So you have to be like really black and white with the kind of commands you give it to get it and anywhere near a good output. So
Have you seen that? I don't know if you've seen it. I think it's on TikTok where the guy tells AI to draw like a cheeseburger.
yeah,
and it comes back and it's not got cheese on it. So it adds cheese on it, but like removes the bun. And he's like, why have you removed the bun? I just asked you to add cheese. Like, and it does all these things, and it's so funny.
Well, if you ask it to draw a glass of wine as one, draw a glass of wine with wine to the brim, and it won't do it because no one's putting that image on Google, so there's nowhere to source that information.
That's so funny.
Because like you don't fill a glass of wine to the brim. And that's the burger one is remove the lettuce. So it says remove the lettuce, and it won't remove the lettuce because all the pictures of burgers have lettuce in.
Jeez.
It can only regurgitate it, so it can give you nothing original at all.
Oh, yeah, I think I love having this conversation with it because I think this will help a lot of people listening to this, is like what we've just said is like, I don't think AI is anywhere near taking our jobs, ruining marketing or anything at the moment.
No. Like if you lose a client to AI, don't worry about it.
They'll come back.
Don't worry about it. They'll either come back or they'll go and find someone else in it because it will bite eventually. It's so imperfect, and you're not wrong when you read AI content or whatever and think it's doing a subpar job. It's doing a subpar job, and whoever's hired you doesn't appreciate the job, doesn't appreciate that there's a whole skill in all of these tasks that AI can do, really.
Absolutely. But again, though, I am a fan of it as well to help me do things.
It's a great tool.
I am a fan. I just planned my whole trip to Copenhagen and Billund through it, and I wanted an itinerary of what we were going to do, the best places to eat, and that just saved me 4 or 5 hours in 30 seconds, and that's what I enjoy about it.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I write articles with it. I use it every day. We do all sorts with it. Yeah, it's brilliant. And the API is really good as well. It's so good. You just need to use it as part of your job as a tool, not a replacement.
And Zoe, last question. We didn't actually get many questions from LinkedIn for this session today, but I had a personal question.
A personal question.
Or a question from me. What is your favorite AI tool?
Ooh. I've got a few, I think. So I do like ChatGPT. We're using it all the time. We've got a couple of developers like in our team. They're doing cool stuff with it. For example, one of our WordPress developers has got the API feeding into the back of WordPress. And there's one client who has to write like a lot of, it is genuinely like repetitive content, not super important. But using the API, it's connected directly to WordPress and they can just write their content within WordPress using the AI. That's really cool. And because the content's so simple, it's the perfect use case for AI. So that's great. So ChatGPT, we're doing that. I'll tell you what I've been loving with ChatGPT as well is, and we need to use the API to sophisticate this as well. I've got one client in particular who does loads of, they do podcasts and video interviews with experts, like absolute experts in the field. And then what happens is the podcast goes live or the video goes on YouTube. And then, as is always the case in businesses, it just kind of gets forgotten about. So this one asset that's really loaded with good insights is used in this one area. But we've been taking the transcript of the video, feeding it into AI, asking ChatGPT to do things like transcribe it, create ideas for blog posts, or pull out the expert insights. So these are the key insights, and then turning those into blog posts. That's been really good. And that, I tell you what, that has actually been some of the best content we've written with that particular client. Really, really good. Because we were starting with the industry expert insights first. It was great for that. Nice. What else? For like briefing, I really like WriterZen. I've always loved WriterZen. It does a lot. It like crawls the SERPs and then it puts together the brief for you. Now, obviously, it's only draft one of the brief because all it's done is copied what's out there. And like none of the clients I work with are just copycatting what other people are doing. We're then adding an awful lot to it. That's really good. And I will say I did see a very, very good AI tool, actually. So this is, again, who I mentioned earlier. Ferry Cazona's team have created like journo.com, which is like Harrow or like Featured. And it's great for me because I have an issue when I'm writing for like HubSpot and I'm getting expert insights. I have an issue with people just giving me AI insights, and you can kind of tell. But his tool tells you how AI generated the content is. So I can just filter by human text and find actual human insights.
Nice.
But within that tool, he's also got like an AI writer, which is probably the best AI writer I've seen. It's really, really well done. They've obviously prompted the hell out of it to get the output they are. And I still wouldn't publish that. I wouldn't take what the AI gives me and publish it, but it's a better start point because they have probably spent considerable hours tweaking it, which is more than what a lot of businesses can afford, because when you're creating these tools, it's very slow because you have to give it loads of data, as we said before. What about you? Any AI tools that you're loving?
I use ChatGPT daily. I really like it. I use it for a lot of things personally and for work. But my favorite tool, hands down, has to be my AI note taker, Sybil.
Yes, that is good, actually.
I tell you what, I just love, and I just think it is such a clever, and I mean, this is just one of them. This is the one I use. There's many out there now, but it'll join your meetings automatically. It records the meeting, it transcribes it, it does all of this. It then looks at all the information, gives you the keynote takeaways, the next steps, all this. It will even write the email for you for a follow-up. And you know what I love? I've just always got that information on hand, and it's just so nice to break it down. I've actually rarely take notes now for meetings because it is all in this, and I can just look at that sort of afterwards, and it's just all there, and it's like a chef's kiss, honestly.
Yeah, I like that one because I like how it breaks the tasks down into like a checklist from the meeting. I do think that's a good one, actually, and I've used a couple of those at this point.
And then it connects with Slack. It can connect with Asana as well. So however you want to use it. That's what I love. I think I just love the automation side of AI and like how to basically speed up processes. I think that's where my sort of heart lies with AI.
Yeah, definitely. You can do such good stuff with it, for sure.
Okay, great. So just recapping then some of our points. We spoke a lot about how our own personal experiences and what we believe is going to be happening in the SEO and PPC world, but just reiterating that marketers, whilst we must adapt, I don't think AI is taking our jobs, and we still need to be honest, frank marketers here with everything that we do. AI is a tool to help assist. It is not a tool to do your job for you. And just staying ahead and just moving where that needle needs to be, changing up gears, doing whatever looks like with the future marketing on this as well. Cool. So on our next episode, we've actually got something that is very close to my heart and Zoe's as well. We will be talking about all things B2B attribution. So stay tuned for that. So thank you for joining. And if you like this, subscribe, follow us on LinkedIn, and keep an eye out for next month's episode.
Thanks all.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the Forank Marketing Podcast. We'll be releasing a new episode every month, so don't forget to subscribe and leave us a review. We look forward to seeing you on the next one.